I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CT Review. Today is July 21st, Monday, 2025. Hope you had a good day and a good weekend here. So to jump right into it here, we gapped up here. We had a gap here. We came down, and then we took out most of these guys here. And then Asia, we came back down to sweep, little internal, little speaker right there inside, coming to sweep back to the opening gap. Look at these bitches doing it now. And then a straight buy, shoot up for another all-time high, right? Getting up to about 4 standard deviations plus, and we were tracing back, right? So very, very smooth day, I would say. You can see you can see the projection here that I have. We're getting down to the 2 to 2.5. You can see the body sitting right there on the opening gap right there. Before I even go into that, real quick, on Friday, you can see the speaker that I drew, put in the community tab about the sell here. And then you can see us bouncing right back off. What are we really doing? We're pretty much getting this this breakout area right here with the imbalance, and that's it. Like as far as to keep selling here, even when I made the example of us pushing, lower low, lower high down, that doesn't mean that's going to happen. But coming back into here from an external range to an internal range is a very, very predictable thing, right? So in that case, I'm not trying to, hold these sells, especially with the gaps. It's just, you're at all times highs. You're not really trying to keep that sell to keep holding down like that. And then obviously you see that we pop up here, and look how that holds beautifully. I mean, just beautifully. But this for me was that, minimum area, right? And then we have the highs here, the high here, right? We just busted through a new high. But trying to say all that to explain this, as you can see, we're pushing down. If I was to get to the 930 here, 930 pre 930, you can see that we're rushing down, right? It's 9 o'clock now. Now it's 9 o'clock. That's that hour I'm looking for. I'm not even trying to take a trade before that even, but you can see we get the 3 drives here. You can see we come right in here. Boom. Second one. Boom. I even take this trade here. Only because of the fact that I understood what was going on. And when it's rushing down, obviously you can see the projection here. It's just a breakout area from here. But look how we missed that high, which would be that high right there. You can see how we missed it on purpose. And I'm already in it still, no matter what. I'm okay with even taking a loss or two here. Why? Because if we're already coming down and we're already down here, I know that we're going to be pushing back up for what? The low resistance liquidity. Look at all that right there. Very, very easy. And then obviously they make this lower high right there underneath the previous week's high. And that's our goal. I mean, you are looking at a bullish scenario. You want to see the expansion of a bullish weekly candle. And then obviously when they were underneath here, what do you think that is? That's the best buy you can get underneath the open, right? That being said, here I got a little projection here. I don't have the all-time high from Friday. I don't have it dragged out, but I know where it is. You can see it. I got it marked here. But then that's where I'm pretty much screenshotting it at here, trying to squeeze it up. This was my goal here, where because of the 3.5 to 4 here, I got this measured here, right? You see that? But then I'm also I'm highlighting these highs. Well, let me go to the 15-minute bottom left. You see these highs right here. That's my minimum target. This bitch can tag it and then retrace back. I'm not trying to give nothing back. And I'm already lethargically trading on Mondays, as it usually is for me. But we're also sweeping above that 1st standard deviation. So you can see we come underneath the Asia low. We've already done the work here. So when we pop up, you can see this back to the 1 minute. You can see the first imbalance, not first. You can see an imbalance after a shift right there. We pop up again. I don't have it drawn right here. And then I don't have that imbalance drawn there either. 930 just shoots straight the hell up, which is beautiful. This is exactly what I want to see. I don't want to see a comeback in here. We've already worked it here. We've already created this flow here, right? We're underneath the midnight level, by the way. and just fucking beautiful. But you know, keeping it simple, right? Not going too far. And obviously, when we push up, what do you think we're going to be doing here? Well, here we're getting these drives up, right? You see us pushing up. Here we get the first imbalance. Sorry, we get the first imbalance right here. See this? So we tag in it, right? We tag in it, and then what's it called? Here's a breakaway. Damn, my voice. Imbalance. You have this stupid candle right here, right? Obviously. And then we get the drives up. Now you can see with the projection that I'm doing it here, you can see that I have the consecutive down candles. Was consecutive on a 5-minute. And then if it was this 15-minute, it would be just, I'm highlighting that right there. You see that? It would be these 3 down 15-minute candles. So just doing this because this is really where the energetic area came from. You're coming into a 2 to 2.5 right here. And then again, you've already smacked that positive 4 standard deviation. So in this sell here, what are you looking for? Well, you're looking for a shift, right? So you get this imbalance right here. Well, before I get there, we tag in right here with this imbalance. We tag in. Then right here we have another imbalance. Right here we tag and we hit the 50. So if it's respecting it, then it's obviously still bullish. Pushes up, comes right back in for this little imbalance right here. And then we get this imbalance. So then you get a drive and you get a break here. Break. And 50% is pretty much getting respected. But this last up candle, this is a control of price. And this is a break-in area. So you see how they come and they tag the 50 there. They come in, they're tagging it here, they're fucking playing around. And I'm over here, I'm trying to catch this bitch, and they're sometimes wicking me out, little wicks, and I end up getting filled here, right? But what's happening here? What's the point here? I can also mention there's a 15-minute imbalance, and there's actually a 5-minute. So I can actually go, I don't want to make this video long, but I'm going to go to a 5-minute real quick, and then you'll be able to see where we got here. Where was I? Right here. So if I was to have measured, and you know, I'm looking at other time frames too, but it would be like this. That would be the 5-minute, and you can see we're tagging that 50. That's why I'm trying to nail it like that, and that's how I'm getting that entry as well, right? So you have to include the gap. The close here is 409.25, and then the open here is 409.5. So 1 tick lower. You have to include that. And that'll explain that. Look at these bitches did it. I fucking know it. So what are we doing here? So the purpose is that we're catching this. You get a low, you get a lower high, and you're trying to catch this drive back down to do what? To number one, to wipe out this liquidity right here and get into this upper half, right? So right now at this point, I got it measured on the 1 minute. I don't have it on the 15-minute, but the 15-minute was a little bit more refined, even though you would think a 1 minute is more refined. It is, but at the same time, you have to understand that the upper half is going to be sensitive, and my goal is to hit this 1.5. So if you take a look at this 1.5, you can see we hit it right there, right? And I'm literally trying to screenshot it, but if it's not going to keep sinking down, then it's done with, right? Now here at this point, I have a fair delivery 50 equilibrium range here, right? From low to high, because when we made that lower high here, back to the bottom left, we came back in from that low to that high. You can see it's clearly a 50% area, right? So that's another understanding. Look at the body sitting in that fucking gap right there. That daily gap is just always sick. And you're getting drives down and you're trying to come into here. So I'm trying to highlight this 1.5, this mid-level, and this -2. Now, you notice I am not trying to hit that. I don't need to hit that. If it comes in and reaches in, that would be beautiful, right? Maybe even come back to this first imbalance. This is a breakout area. So is this. This is also a breakout area. And they be letting these breakout traders win, but then they'll come back for it. So now if you take a look at where we're at, and before I continue, what am I doing? It's just move 1 and a move 2. Does move 2 keep coming down, or does it start at move 3? In general speaking, and look how they did this. They came all the way back right here. You see this high right here? They don't take out that high. Here's your first imbalance for the PM session. Look at the body sitting there, and it sells off from it. That's your PM session trade to do what? to come back down and wipe out some liquidity. If it's not going to keep going up, and if it's, to be honest, with being this high, it's generally going to keep going up. But that's how they pull the rug. That's how they trick it. So they induce liquidity here. Their goal is to come down here, but they want to be incognito. They don't want you to keep coming in. It'd be too fucking easy to buy and then sell and then buy, right? They gotta be incognito. And look at, this is what they're doing now. Now you can see we just hit the use it as resistance right there in the bodies, and now we're selling down to seal it as we're speaking. And then we're in this 2 to 2.5. Most likely going to get to this high, and this is, I would have loved to hit that, but hey, doesn't mean you're gonna get it, man. But the understanding is really was dope. So with all what I just said, you'll understand also that we had a lower high, a lower low here, and we had higher lows here with S&P and Dow, and that's the reason also for this buy that I took early, right? Also, time is involved with the macro, but point is, when we get up here, we had a little divergence right there with Nas. Initially, I sold it and took the profit down to here and then tried to get back in. But then you can see here, we have a higher high, very minute, but a higher high here with Dow. And then we had lower highs here. So lower highs here, lower highs here. And then, and that's pretty much pushing us down right now. And they fucking did it at the end of the day, which is just amazing. And then you can see here, dollar is was extensively pushing down, obviously too. So, you know, if you saw that, that's also kind of helpful. But so now we get into what are we looking at, and also the other reason why I'm mentioning all this, as far as like, you don't want to be holding these sells here, is because of the fact that, well, obviously we're bullish, number one. Number two, all this was time distortion. So pulling back in the range, pulling back in the range, pulling back in the range. And that's why I drew an example of it maybe coming lower. But the thing is that with the seasonality, and if you understand the seasonality and you have those charts, you'll understand that, okay, well, they delayed the movement up, right? So this is what that was, right? And then when you get this, when you get this like straight shot up like that, you know, and then we've now retraced back in, there's an imbalance right here. And we're also going to possibly use it as support. You have to know that that's a possibility, right? But in general speaking, I'm bullish. So we expect to extend. So, and that's just kind of like what the logic is here, right? And if you know, you could even put a curve tool and you can see it curving. When it curves, it generally will rush up. And then now, look, you know what, man? I swear to God, dude. I swear to God. I swear to God. I knew it, but I love it. So that has to make sense, right? Like, you have to understand that possibility and strength and earnings. I didn't talk about earnings, but you don't even fucking need to talk about earnings. You know, we should just keep pushing up then, right? This is just double top, man. But on the 4 hour, we were expecting that 6 o'clock candle to keep pushing up. And then as you see 10 o'clock played around, and then it was the 2 o'clock candle that they're using to push that back into what? Because it created an imbalance on these two past 4 hour candles, right? And they're doing it now. Look at this. Look at this shit. Yo, you can't make this up. But again, they're trying to be incognito with this. So, I mean, I don't know what else I could say. It's probably going to come right for this first imbalance. Because now, remember, this is the first imbalance of the month. So, not month, I'm sorry, of the week. So, this will generally speaking be referenced. So, let's see if I could just make this darker or something. I like to make the important ones darker. So, first imbalance of the week. And then, yeah, and then that's pretty much it, man. I mean, there's nothing else I can mention here. You can see that we, I don't know, this shit, you know, did we break out of it right there and then we're pushing up? But this is a response now that, I mean, but again, it's early in the week, man. And we just got, you know, we'll see what happens, but, ooh, coming for liquidity. Dow, you know, stopped at their 50, pushed up, came back, just sealed it as we spoke. As we speaking, just sealed it to the tick, right? Super random, right? And then higher high, higher low here, you know. And then if you're looking at this range, just a speaker out here, so that low, that high, you have this low and this high is kind of like the range you're in. But if you look at from here to here, you know, doesn't want to just sweep Friday's low here. Makes kind of sense, even though it doesn't need to. If you look on the daily of this, you see like a little imbalance there. But you want to see this stay empty when it's bullish anyway. Like you want to see this stay empty. So it still might. But at the same time, it's summer, and I don't know what else I could tell you, man. You know, it's just kind of, I'm here for that one move, two move, maybe good, done. You know, S&P, as you see, pushed, and this is what I was looking for when I was up here, obviously. And then obviously you see they push up and they're coming right back in to get into the, getting back to that inefficiency. They're building liquidity right there. You can see a sell model. Doesn't have to take it out, but I mean, this inefficiency, we'll probably see it in Asia, London here. But the push up and then and a sell. Look how they kept putting the drives up, and then by here you're fucking done. Like you quit, right? Like you're not even trying to trade. I was definitely done. But the point is they're doing that and then doing it at the end of the day, right? Very obvious to come into this area, but they just did it. So right here, I want to see this stay empty. We do have some price action below the open, right? Obviously creating the wick. But we want to see it keep pushing up, and then in this case here, I do want to see this. So I'm just gonna do this for now. I do want to see that. I do. I just want it to keep pushing up, expand. You're in an expansion phase, and that's why. And also another reason to not hold these sells here is because you're ready to expand. And you can see, look at this. But it's gonna be a little bit of a tricky scenario here. But I mean, again, this is all I want to see. I don't want to really see anything more than this. So, close as a bullish week, and it'd be done. And they could look like the whole week even. And there's an imbalance here on this week. Again, I'd like to see this stay empty and stay a bullish candle, and that have not popped in. And look, I have done the bodies here from body to body. We talked about this 25%. I mentioned this here. Look at this. 23,750 or whatever. And we're inching our way, right? And that's really it. There's nothing else I can mention here. So I talked about that, and then what's funny is that like Nvidia isn't really going anywhere. It's actually pulling back. And I saw that you popped into this imbalance right here. And then we just kind of came lower. We're trying to come get some of this liquidity. Do they want to rush into here? That's why we'll get maybe a deeper retracement than the example I just gave you. Instead of it just bouncing, it might come even lower. But pretty much all the majors were pushing up. So that's really it. But let's see what else. I think that's it, man. I mean, I don't think there's anything else I could say here. And you notice when we tapped in this 15-minute imbalance below this. So obviously I understand that, right? Again, you can see the inversion used it right there. I'm gonna miss something here. Well, in the hour, if I was to just do the hour, which will probably look good here. I'm gonna include the gap. You can see we probably hit 50%. Look at that, dude. Can't make that up. So that's kind of like what I was trying to aim for, but they wanted to pull it back. So what am I doing here? Just so you can see it, man. We'll just keep it on the 1 hour. You can put the 4 hour too, though. And I gotta be done. Look at that. Tagged it. Just tagged it now. Look how it stopped right there on it. So when you're looking for these trades, I'm looking for confluence. These are the confluences. When the price was down here, I understood that they were trying to get that guy. See this right here? See this right here? That's how I make videos long. See how we busted through this high? See how we busted through, and then we bounced on it and bounced on it, and then made higher lows right there. That's that sum. That's that liquidity that we're looking for, and that's what they were doing here. And in this case, um, well, that's one example, but these down candles could be used as support. But in general, using targets for 50% of these imbalances is on different time frames. Obviously, is key, but in the hour, you can see it being very perfect. I mean, it doesn't get any more perfect than that. I'm not saying that we won't come any lower. Of course not. I'm just talking. But for me, when I'm trying to take these trades down here, I'm looking for a minimum low hanging fruit, and that's what I'm trying to say. So that's really it. Little divergence right there on some bullshit. I knew this was coming down, but I knew they were gonna do some bullshit, so they made it a little more difficult. But if I go to the no, I'm not even gonna do that. I'm not even gonna do that. There's nothing else to really say. I just feel like I'm missing something. It's 20 minutes. I like that. But yeah, I mean, we're just melting up, man. I mean, you're not looking. You're counter trending. You're counter trade trending. Counter trending trading. Counter trade trending. Trades. You don't want to be taking this shit, right? You take them, but I'm not looking to hit home runs. I'm looking. I know we're bullish, and I want to, just look for a buy after that, in general speaking. But if you're not able to participate in it, look how the following day, which now would be today, Monday, we're getting that opportunity here, right? So pretty kosher, and keeping it simple with not being married to you want to hit a home run. But I mean, like even notice when I take this buy here, and I'm already squeezing out right here. Why? Because that was the goal. That was the setup, and that's the responsible thing. You know what I'm saying? So, in this case, buying it again here and buying it again here, buying it here, I wouldn't be interested in buying this, right? Let that motherfucker do what it's gonna do, and then wait for more data. I think I've said enough, right? Yeah, I had to have said enough already. So, the weekly slowly coming up. I want to see the weekly get up to this overbought, and then you can maybe think about the market slowing down for tops. But we're creating a new premium, so you have to understand and allow for it to go, and especially the delayed price action that they did in July. This was already supposed to be pushing up hard in the beginning of July, and then they kind of made it slower. Now, in the seasonality, it shows that it's supposed to be kind of like little higher highs and higher lows, chopping sideways a little bit. But it looks like they did a flipperoo or whatever, and fucking are planning to do it now. So we'll see. But yeah, the price action should be pretty tough going into next month, and September might be a little bit cleaner, but I would brace yourself for August for sure. And that's why they want to get that premium up, man. If you've been watching the videos, I said 23,000, big figure. We were here. Then I was like 23,250. Here's 23,250. And then from there we want to get up to 500 possibly, right? Which is now up here. So I'm not just married to those figures. I'm just saying logically is kind of like the flow. But let's see what else. You got this down wick here. This down candle, which would be Friday's down candle. Obviously, by the way, Friday as pushing up. That's why I was giving out the sell, because of it, being the end of the week. And we did go into 20 to 30% of the range. If you saw, I think I drew it a little bit off by a mistake, by the way. So what I'll do is I'll draw it now. This is how I definitely make videos long. But what do you call it? Where the fuck are you at? tonight. Here. So, it's over here, man. So you'll see here that from the top bottom to the top range, this is 20% and this is 40%, right? I don't know why this is not red. And I'm making a long video for nothing. Not sure why I didn't save that. Anyways, you'll see now that we almost got to 30% of that range. As you can see, if just put a 50% right here and just missing it shortly. A little extra credit for you there. And then what was I going to say? So we have this down candle, right? We have that down candle for Friday. We're going to see if they're going to use that as support. We have that wick. 50% of that wick would be roughly eyeballed right here. So it looks like it's this breakout area here. If it was to come a little bit lower, you have that first imbalance here. So that would be, I'm not going to draw it. I got to go. But that would make sense around this area here if they were to keep coming any lower. And that's it. And you're going to want to see this. No bodies close here. You just want to see it come in. And then we expand again. You guys take care. God bless.